This is my son, who, when he first became famous, said that I was dead.
I can relate. I used to say my dad was dead. I can
Right?
relate.
And then it went from I'm dead to us back.
Mad. Did you crack though?
What the f am I gonna smoke crack for?
You ever talked to him since?
Nah, I ain't talked to him since I was probably like heard his voice, like talked to him on the phone. I probably ain't talked to him since I was like 12.
You interested?
Not really, cause it's like I'm a man now.
What if everything you thought you knew about 21 Savage's origin story was actually a lie? Picture this: a father sitting in London, watching his son turn into a global rap superstar, while the world is told that man is dead, a drug addict, and completely absent. Sounds crazy, right? Well, that's the plot twist now shaking the hip-hop world to its core. Kevin Emmons, 21 Savage's biological father, has just stepped forward and he didn't come empty. We're talking alleged phone records, bank transfers, and detailed timelines that directly clash with the story 21 has been telling since day one. Kevin claims he was present for 7 solid years, paid for everything, and was later wiped from his son's narrative entirely. The streets are talking, social media is in a frenzy, and the receipts he's dropping, straight up wild. So if you want to know the real truth behind one of hip-hop's messiest family scandals and see how a father is accusing his own son of lying to millions, you'll want to stay locked in until the very end, because what's coming next flips the entire story upside down. But before we dive deeper into the drama, let's rewind and paint the real picture of how this all allegedly began. 21 Savage, whose real name is Shea bin Abraham Joseph, was actually born in London, England, back in 1992. His father, Kevin Emmons, hails from Brixton, South London, where he was born and raised his entire life. Kevin describes himself as someone who was immersed in music from the very beginning: breakdancing, graffiti, DJing, rapping, dancing. Hip-hop wasn't just a hobby, it was in his blood. He even appeared on BBC programs back in the day, performing dance routines and taking part in non-smoking hip-hop campaigns. Kevin paints himself as a man raised with strict values, the youngest of 6 kids. He says stepping out of line was never an option. His parents, siblings, everyone was watching. He calls his father the baddest man on the planet, and admits the last person he ever wanted to disappoint was his dad. That structure, according to Kevin, kept him far away from trouble. He says bringing police or any kind of chaos to his home would have been like suicide. And that background matters because it directly challenges the image people have been fed for years. Now, here's where things really start getting interesting. Kevin says he met 21 Savage's mother at a party in East London. He was there with his brothers, and he makes a point to stress this because everywhere he went, and this is where the story takes a turn, Kevin says everything he did with his family. That's just how they moved. So when he met 21 Savage's mother, it wasn't him chasing her, according to Kevin. She approached him first. They started seeing each other. Things moved fast, and next thing you know, she's pregnant with the child who would later become 21 Savage. But here's the part nobody really talks about. Kevin claims the pregnancy wasn't planned at all, and once she found out she was expecting, he says everything shifted. According to him, she told him he needed to cut off his entire family and move to America with her. No discussion, no middle ground, and it gets even deeper. Kevin says she was involved in something called the Nubian movement, which he describes as a renegade offshoot of Islam, heavily centered around black identity. He claims she started giving him pamphlets and readings that pushed the idea that anyone who wasn't black was basically the devil. Kevin says he couldn't rock with that mindset at all because in his view, evil doesn't have a color. Think about that for a second. You're 21 years old, and your girlfriend is telling you to abandon your whole family, join what sounds like a belief system you don't agree with, and relocate to another country. Kevin says that was a hard no, and that decision ultimately ended their romantic relationship. But this part matters. Kevin insists on one thing. Even if the relationship was over, he was never walking away from his son.
He's going into another country. Yeah, he's going to a totally different country. Not by my choice, right? That's not my choice. First of all, that's not my choice. Why is he going to America? Why is he going to America? He's going to America, yeah? His mum is now married to his now stepdad, yeah? So they're going for a fresh start. Who says he needs a fresh start? She needs the fresh start. He don't know that he don't need no fresh start. What he needs is what he's had already.
Now this is where Kevin's version really starts to get specific, and it's the complete opposite of what 21 Savage has said in past interviews. According to Kevin, during the first 7 years of his son's life, he wasn't distant at all. He was deeply involved. He says every single weekend was locked in. Friday night after work, Kevin would go pick up his son and take him straight to his mother's house, where the whole family was together, cousins, relatives, everybody. School holidays, covered Easter. With Dad's side, the 6-week summer break. Same thing. Christmas, always with his father's family. Kevin claims that for those early years, 21 was constantly around them. Kevin also says 21 was exceptionally smart as a kid. He shares this moment walking down the street when young 21 looked at him and said, "Dad, why are you speaking like that? You know you might die earlier, and I don't want you to die." Let that sink in for a second. A little kid saying something that deep to his father, that's next level emotional intelligence. According to Kevin, 21 was always over the moon whenever he was around his dad's side of the family. Always smiling, always sharp, always curious. Kevin even laughs about how his son's intelligence would sometimes get on his nerves. But one thing he's clear on, those years were real, they were consistent, and they don't match the story people have been hearing.
I love my son. Yeah. I love my son.
What do you want? Do you want a relationship with him? Do you want to see him? Do you want him? Do you get what I'm trying to? What do you want?
I want him to pick up the phone and talk to me. That's
Yeah,
all I
like,
want.
what do you like? Don't.
That's it.
But this is where Kevin says the mother's agenda really starts to show. According to him, during those entire 7 years, there was one question he heard over and over again. Every time he picked up his son, she'd say something like, "We're going to America. You can always come with us." Even after their relationship was done, she kept pushing the same idea, Kevin, leaving his entire life in London to follow them to the States. Kevin says that's what ended the relationship in the first place. So in his mind, it never made sense why she kept bringing it up. And then came the moment that changed everything. 21 was 7 years old. It was a Sunday and Kevin says he remembers it like it's burned into his memory. When he dropped his son off, the mother gave him an ultimatum. "We're leaving on Monday. You can either come with us, leave him with you, or I'll send him back every 6 months." Kevin says he already knew she wasn't really going to leave 21 behind, and he could see his son was a straight-up mama's boy. Being separated from his mother wasn't realistic, so Kevin made what he believed was the most logical decision at the time. He let 21 go with his mother, expecting to maintain the same relationship through regular visits, just like the weekend routine they'd had for 7 years. He agreed to the 6-month arrangement, believing it would give his son stability and consistency. What Kevin says he didn't realize, though, was that moving to America would completely alter his son's life and eventually push it toward tragedy. When 21 arrived in Atlanta at just 7 years old, he was suddenly thrown into a whole different world. New schools, new kids, new rules. Kevin claims his son even had to fake an American accent because classmates were clowning his British one. On his very first day, he was already getting picked on for how he spoke. And according to the story, that didn't end quietly. 21 fought back, beat up one of his bullies, and that's how he earned the nickname Taekwondo Kid.
Got in a fight on the first day of school. Oh God.
From the jump?
Yeah, they was used to tease me. Like I went to Dunnell Elementary. That was the first elementary school I went to.
Okay.
So I get on the bus or whatever, they're making fun of me on the way to school.
Okay.
So we get on the bus to go home, they making fun of me on the way home.
Okay.
It's like one of the older dudes, like his little brother was the main one. So the older brother was said something like, basically like, shit, fight him. So we get off the bus, I beat him up. So all the girls, they run and tell my mama.
Okay.
At the door. So
Your sisters?
No,
kids in the neighborhood.
Kids in the neighborhood.
Okay.
So they run, they tell my mama, cause they started, I really was kicking a lot. They started calling me Taekwondo Kid. On my mama. It's a true story on my mom.
At first, Kevin says 21 was actually excelling in school. He was winning spelling bee competitions and math contests in the same year. But as he got older, reality started setting in. No matter how good his grades were, his immigration status meant college and legit career paths were basically off the table. And according to Kevin, that realization flipped a switch. That's when 21 allegedly started checking out sleeping in class. Losing interest, and by just 13 years old, getting pulled into drug dealing, things spiraled fast. Kevin claims 21 brought a gun to school because kids from another neighborhood were targeting him. His own crew was older and already in high school, so he felt unprotected. He hid the gun during in-school suspension, but cameras caught it. Another student snitched, and by 8th grade, 21 was already on probation. Even while on good behavior, he ended up getting kicked out over a bus incident. Kevin says 21 wasn't even throwing things at the driver, but girls still pointed him out as one of the troublemakers, and that was enough. When his mother found out, Kevin says she grounded him for the first time, locking him inside to watch his younger siblings, but 21 kept sneaking out anyway. Eventually, a cousin told his mother that 21 was taking stolen cars and that led to even more punishment, but the street life didn't stop. Kevin says this cycle of rebellion and survival mode kept going right up until 21's 21st birthday, when everything would change forever. Now this is where Kevin's story turns heartbreaking, and where he says a clear pattern of lies starts to show. The promise was simple. 21 would return to London every 6 months. According to Kevin, in 23 years, that happened exactly one time in 2005. Just once. Kevin says he even paid for 21, his sister, and their mother to come back that year because he was desperate to see his son. And it wasn't like he disappeared. Kevin claims he was calling constantly at first every couple of days. He'd call when 21 was at his grandmother's house, so he could talk to everyone. Because to Kevin, a child's bond isn't just with a parent, it's with grandparents, aunts, uncles, cousins too. He was trying to keep all of that alive. But the phone situation, that's where things really get messy. Kevin says when 21 needed a phone, he agreed to pay for it so they could talk directly, no middleman. He was covering international plans, dropping $20, $25, $40, sometimes even $100 a month. And here's the part that still stings. According to Kevin, 21 never called him, not once. He says he was paying all that money for a phone his son never used to reach out in dead silence. He claims, said more than words ever could.
I got you this phone. It's so that you could phone me and I can phone you. 5th month, $100. 6th month, $100. 7th month, $100. But you're not even phoning me. Why am I spending all this money on this phone and you can't even punch in my numbers, one, call me and hang up the phone so that I know I can call you back?
You know what it is?
Did you have this conversation with him?
I had this conversation with him plenty of times.
Kevin says he had that same conversation with 21 over and over again. He'd tell him, "The only reason I got you this phone is so you can call me and so I can call you back. Just call me once, even if you hang up. Let me know it works." But according to Kevin, that call never came. Over time, the frustration built up. Kevin says he eventually stopped paying for the phone and that decision was later used against him, with 21 pointing to it as proof his father wasn't there. But Kevin insists the context is always left out. He also reveals that in 2004, he actually flew to America to see his son, showing he wasn't just talking, he was making real efforts. When 21 got into legal trouble, Kevin says he even paid for his first court case. On top of that, he claims he was sending money regularly, and every transfer had his name clearly listed as the reference. According to Kevin, that means there should be bank records backing up everything he's saying, proof that he was financially supporting his son from a distance. And with that context laid out, Kevin says it's time to address what he believes are the lies that have been told for years.